Hi, this is Professor Cummings, and welcome to the second module of Lean Six Sigma. In this particular module, we're going to have a goal of going over the tools, strategy, and team building for Lean Six Sigma. In other words, how you actually get Lean Six Sigma into your organization. But before we got a little bit of review, back in Module 1, we first started defining Lean Six Sigma. We tried to understand what Lean was and what Six Sigma was. We've come to the understanding that Lean Six Sigma actually uses both strategies from Lean and Six Sigma. And what it does is it actually transforms the business, it improves your product, as well as it increases your customer satisfaction. Now, the way it does that is by both actually streamlining your process by addressing 7 forms of waste, or as we put it, MUDA. So we understand what those 7 forms of waste are. We actually took the time to define that, as well as over here on the right, trying to reduce variability. So we understood what the whole concept of Six Sigma stood for, and that, what it actually was intended to do. Also, that it has a lot of involvement into problem solving and understanding the root causes of this different types of variability. So we are basically trying to improve the customer experience, improve our product by streamlining a process, as well as reducing the variability and understanding what the root of those variability actually is. So what are we going to get out of Module 2? So some of the goals of Module 2 are to, number 1, try to demonstrate how to introduce Lean Six Sigma to your organization. It is a total change of attitude, total change of perspective to actually use Lean Six Sigma. So how are you going to actually make this sort of a change to an organization which already has established philosophies and beliefs? It's to establish a solid foundation to maximize the success of Lean Six Sigma. There is a way to actually approach Lean Six Sigma so that it actually sustains and actually is adopted by the organization as a whole. And there is an appropriate way to start it, but not everybody knows how. So in this module, we're going to go over some of the techniques, some of the tools, some of the methods of actually getting started on Lean Six Sigma. So exactly how do you get started with Lean Six Sigma? There are certain things that you're going to see throughout this module that we're going to discuss, and one of those is how to identify a problem. Why are you even approaching something with Lean Six Sigma? Well, usually you have some sort of a problem that you're trying to address, and it's usually a problem that is overarching as systemic to your organization. So it means you're going to look at an entire process. You are going to understand the importance of building teams, how to build a proper team, who needs to be on that team, and what you need each team member to actually contribute. You're going to have to understand the current process that you have, for all of its warts, all of its bruises, all of its undesirables, and all of its problems. You do need to understand the current process. And what you will find is that in a lot of organizations, there are very few people alone that can understand or establish that process. So this is also part of that team effort. And also, when you have a Lean Six Sigma event, you're trying to implement Lean Six Sigma, it's important to understand the goals and objectives of sales, much like what we're doing here in this module. So getting your team all on the same page with goals and objectives of Lean Six Sigma. Also, since Lean Six Sigma is a data-driven process and it does have a common goal to it, you also want to understand who your customer is, what they need, and how the voice of the customer, the person you're trying to implement all this for, all the waste and reduction of variability, what it is they actually value, what it is they actually want. So for Module 2, Introduction to Lean Six Sigma Management and Tools, what are you going to learn? What are you going to get out of this? Some of the things that we are going to cover in this particular module are value stream maps, how they're made, what they're used for, and why they're more valuable than a typical process flow diagram. So we'll go over some of the details of value stream mapping. We'll understand more about the voice of the customer, what it actually is that the customer wants, what they value on, and how we can maximize that. We understand the difference between takt time and cycle time, why both of those are important. You understand the Lean Six Sigma team, the people that will actually working on the particular project, as well as the importance of getting buy-in. Getting buy-in to the project, getting buy-in to the changes, getting buy-in to the new culture.